This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website or online store, make it with Squarespace.
What if Lionel Messi played for Manchester City? Well, of course, Messi is under contract at Barcelona until 2022, not to mention very expensive, and Pep Guardiola has previously expressed his reasons for not going after the man who made his Barca side tick, but hypothetically, what if he did? Well, to get an idea of how Guardiola might use Messi now, it's best to start by taking a look at their very real work together at Barcelona. During Guardiola's 4-year spell as his coach, Messi truly hit his peak. It was at this time that Guardiola repopularised the false nine position, learning from Luca Spalletti's use of Francesco Totti at Roma a couple of years earlier. A false nine is effectively a striker who drifts deeper, away from the defensive line and from what would be considered a normal starting spot for the position. Strikers typically lead the line and push into space behind the defence. A false nine looks to drop into the space in front of the defence, and then drive back towards it, or by sucking defenders towards them, create space in behind for diagonal runs from other attackers. This is what created the mesmeric quick passing interchanges in attack that were the hallmark of Guardiola's tenure. While Messi's use as a false nine under Guardiola attracted attention, not least because it was probably the first sustained use of a striker in that way since Austria's national side in the 30s and Hungary's in the 50s, Guardiola also deployed Messi in other roles. In fact, his willingness to experiment with his use of Messi, and Messi's ability to adapt to this, was a central pillar of the 14 trophies the pair won together. Messi's key abilities, his vision, dribbling and control, his ability to create space and exploit it, and his selfless defensive work meant that he could effectively play wherever Guardiola wanted. As such, sometimes Messi's use said more about Barcelona's other players and their strengths and weaknesses than it did about his own. In the course of Guardiola's tenure, Messi played as a right wing in the 4-3-3 formation that is so associated with Barcelona. He also played as a central number 10 behind a striker in a sort of asymmetric 4-2-4, and in Guardiola's final season played as a false 9/10 in an updated version of the 3-4-3. Indeed, the pure false 9 role was really only a mainstay of Barca's play in 2010-11 and the season after, when the team's shape was otherwise very different. Messi's skills and versatility meant that as other players around him changed in terms of ability, physical attributes or even actual personnel, he could adapt and excel. A few years later, under the tutelage of Ernesto Valverde, Messi's adaptability has again been highlighted, as he featured in a second striker role within Barcelona's 4-4-2 system. Valverde has sought to devise a setup that can accommodate his overflow of attacking talent and get the best out of them. By overloading the right half space with both Messi and whoever played on the right-hand side of midfield, Valverde aimed to manoeuvre his best talents into advanced positions unmarked. He often uses Ivan Rakitic or Sergio Roberto on the right. They tuck in, with right-back Nelson Semedo overlapping. Messi can drop off into space behind Luis Suarez and work with the right midfielder Semedo to create passing triangles and progress the ball. Valverde also uses a 4-3-3, with Messi playing on the right, but dropping much deeper than a normal right winger would, while Ousmane Dembele pushes higher on the left. Messi can drift centrally and pull the strings, or drive forwards, and crucially, this means he can influence play as a creative almost midfielder, or as an almost winger. Messi also works extremely hard in Valverde's defensive system, tenaciously defending and pressing the right half space. Sometimes he can almost look laconic in the attacking phase, walking and drifting into space before suddenly accelerating, while in defence he closes and works hard to win back the ball. He's been central to Barcelona for so long now that it's easy to forget that his ability really did accelerate under Guardiola. It was the Catalan manager who coaxed out of Messi his stellar talents and laid the foundation for him to become the world's most complete player. So, with their history together at Barcelona and their evolution as player and coach in the time since, how would Messi likely fit into Guardiola's current Manchester City setup? Well, City set up in a 4-3-3, a system that Messi is obviously used to. The natural spots for him would be either at right wing or centre forward but dropping off. Here are two plausible lineups. There are some issues here though. Notwithstanding the fact that Messi is the world's best footballer and could likely fit into any side, neither of these two roles is in fact a perfect fit for the Argentinian. Out wide, Guardiola has favoured a greater degree of pace and width than Messi is currently used to. Raheem Sterling and Leroy Sané, his best and first choice wide players, are exceptionally quick and either hug the touchline to stretch opponents out wide before cutting in field at pace, or drop off and in while a midfielder or fullback moves out and past them before hurtling towards the gap inside. While Messi could do this, in his career he's shown an increasing tendency to come inside and dictate play, and this doesn't quite fit the way that Guardiola likes his City wingers to play. Messi could of course replace Aguero as the focal point of City's attack, insofar as Guardiola's positional play requires a focal point, but again there are a few concerns here. Messi has shown that he works well in tandem with a physical striker, as he did behind Zlatan Ibrahimovic in 2009-10, but City could lose its most physically assertive, combative striker if Messi replaced Aguero rather than played with him. Aguero does drop off intelligently in link play, but his bustling presence attracts defensive attention, and he's excellent at playing the ball with his back to goal and a defender. Now, of course, Messi is capable of doing all of this, though Aguero is physically stronger and has been City's most consistent goalscorer since 2011. Here, the issue is more that Aguero is too good at what he does to leave out if Messi could be accommodated elsewhere. And due to Guardiola's 4-3-3 being more of a 5-5 split, he could. City's 4-3-3 sees two effective units, Fernandinho dropping away to join the defensive four, with the fullbacks pushing up and in to create a layer of defence, and the two central midfielders push up and play off the wingers in the half spaces, while the striker drops in or pushes up depending on the opposition defence. The answer to where Messi would play if he were ever to join Manchester City was actually clear in a recent derby against Manchester United. You see, in that game, one City player found many of the same spaces that Messi would, drifting into spots away from defensive attention before bursting towards the opposition goal, carrying a threat with his ball control at pace and his ability to create as well as provide a goal threat. And that was Bernardo Silva, playing the right central midfield inside forward role. Guardiola's central midfielders are in many ways like the inside forwards of the old 2-3-5 formation, pushing into the half spaces, linking with the wide players and either pushing up and outside them or pushing more directly forwards past the striker alongside them. Now this role would suit Messi perfectly. Covered by the solid four of defence plus Fernandinho, he could press, but without having to defend too much. He would link to devastating effect with the pace and positional awareness of Sterling. He could feed Aguero and play alongside David Silva, who is more than a match for some of the midfielders Messi played with at Barcelona in Guardiola's heyday. Crucially, this position in a Guardiola team is about finding space to receive the ball and link play, or drive forwards into an attacking position as a goal threat. It's what Messi's been doing his whole career, and in this spot, he'd fit seamlessly into Guardiola's Manchester City team. And it's just a shame that we'll probably never see it happen.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Now, one of the things we really like about Squarespace is it's an all-in-one platform, so you'll never need to patch or upgrade anything. And if things do get complicated, they have award-winning 24/7 customer service that you can ring up. So if you're ready to launch your new business, go to squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Tifo Football for 10% off your first offer. If you're ready to make a new website, make it with Squarespace.